Hello, and welcome to this installment from Cisco concerning our email security product. My name is Scott Bauer, and I'll be going through an overview of a new technology we have coming in this release, in our 9.5 release, called Graymail. We'll give an overview of the customer situation, and then we'll get into a demonstration of how to enable this feature and actually how it interacts and works on the appliance itself. The problem that we're dealing with is the issue of what is spam, and that is the classic unknown or unrequested email coming into an end user's mailbox that they don't want, versus what email are they getting that they may have requested in the past but they don't want anymore. We've all had this situation. We go online shopping, we buy stuff, we go to a trade show, we give our business card, etc. So we have valid senders of mail sending us stuff, but we think that this email is not wanted, and how do we actually get rid of it? So the issues we have is how do we safely unsubscribe from an email campaign, but at the same time do not risk our end users getting phished, or our credentials being phished or stolen, or malicious content being installed on the end user's desktop. So what Graymail technology is really doing for us, we actually break out what we call marketing mail into three different categories. The first category is marketing, the second one is social networking, and the third one is bulk, and we'll get into these. So the second part of this engine is the capability of doing a safe unsubscribe for the end users. So we'll actually insert a piece of email on the top of it to actually allow our end users to actually unsubscribe from this and not allow or not give access to the possible attacks that are known. So the building blocks: protection against malicious threats by masquerading unsubscribe links, so we're getting around that. Uniform interface for all unsubscribe, and a better visibility into email and attacks coming into the environment. So the categories that we're dealing with, if we wanted to break them down, the first one is PCE, and these are the good senders, or the relatively good senders of marketing mail. They follow all the rules that are out there for unsubscribe, cleaning, etc. The second one is bulk, which these are the senders of email that may not adhere to all of the rules. And then the last one is the social networking. So here's our interface. How do we actually install this? The first thing is we actually have to get the feature key. So by going to our appliance, we go to our feature keys, and we see here the only feature key that we see for Graymail is the safe unsubscribe. So this means the basic Graymail capability, or the segmentation of marketing messages into those three buckets, are part of the base anti-spam license that you get from Cisco. The piece that you subscribe for and pay extra for is the unsubscribe capability. So under security services, we've gone in, we've made sure that we are communicating to the cloud for the unsubscribe, and we're making sure that our engines and our updates are happening on a regular basis. If we go in there and edit that, we now get into the capability of customizing the size of the spam or size of the email and how much time. And the second part of that is where we actually turn on the safe unsubscribe. So by selecting that, I now will actually give the appliance the ability to inject a piece of code to the top of the email that our end users can actually interact with. So now that we know that the services are licensed and the services are running, we're going to go into our incoming mail policies. Now this is the same thing we've done with other engines, or anti-spam, antivirus, etc. But now we have this Graymail functionality that we can do on a per policy basis. So again, we can take the default parameters, or we can turn it on or off. Again, it's customizable by the administrators. And we also have the capability of allowing or disallowing the unsubscribe function for this policy itself. We can do it for all messages or for unsigned messages only. In this demonstration, we're doing it for all messages. So the next piece is we have three buckets our marketing email has been segmented out to. We have the generic marketing, as we had said before, and these are the valid good senders of marketing messages. They may just not want to be received by the end user. The second one is the social networking, so that's like Facebook and LinkedIn. And then the last one is the bulk email. And I could set the disposition of what I want to do with each one of those uniquely. And as you saw, deliver, or we can actually quarantine it if we wanted to. So that's action for this policy itself. We can do it for all messages or for unsigned messages only. In this demonstration, we're doing it for all messages. So the next piece is we have 3 buckets our marketing email has been segmented out to. We have the generic marketing, as we had said before, and these are the valid good senders of marketing messages. They may just not want to be received by the end user. The second one is the social networking, so that's like Facebook and LinkedIn. And then the last one is the bulk email. And I could set the disposition of what I want to do with each one of those uniquely. And as you saw, deliver, or we can actually quarantine it if we wanted to. So that's how we actually get into the actual policies themselves. And here is when we get into what it looks like to the end user. Now this one here is a social networking email, and you can see the shim that was put in for the Graymail alert. But here's a live one. Here I am going into my Outlook client, and inside my Outlook client I see this message that I've got, and I've double-clicked on it, and now I'm going to go into that message, and you can see on the top that there's an unsubscribe link on here. So I can actually double-click on this, open up the message, and click on the unsubscribe. Now what happens is that URL goes back to the Cisco cloud, and we actually do the safe unsubscribe for the end user. Now the great part about this is the end user is not exposed to the actual website itself, and they don't need to worry about if this is a safe unsubscribe or not. Now the next piece of this is around our reporting. So you can see here our marketing messages. In the past 30 days, we've received 40 of them. So now we can actually start to dig into there and see what is really going on. So if I click on that 40, it automatically pre-fills or segments out my message tracking to only show me the Graymail that's come in, right? So that's the high level if I want to see all Graymail coming into my environment. And I actually can go in there and fine-tune this sample to actually get more exact details. So if I click on the show details for a message, I can now scroll through and see exactly who sent the mail from recipient to, as well as the engine and the type of Graymail that it is. So the next portion of our report is our system overview report. Now this gets into the exact details of the high level of what types of Graymail has come in. You see marketing, social, and bulk. As we peel back further, we can get into more detail. Here we're getting into the actual specific domains that sent those email messages, as well as the different categories that those domains are sending email for or from. The next piece of this, as we get into a little bit deeper, is we can actually go into the specific email addresses and do a message track back on those, and we can see the internal users that have been receiving those messages in the first place. And then the last piece, now we start getting into a high level from a specific domain, all of the different types of email that are coming from that domain itself. Well, that concludes our video on our new Graymail technology. I hope you found this informative, and thank you very much for your time.